Rise of the Planet of the Apes was released in 2011 and was a prequel to the franchise that started back in 1968. This franchise spawned many sequels and an eventual reboot starring Mark Wahlberg and directed by Tim Burton. I was psyched going into this movie because I watched a lot of the original films and the Mark Wahlberg film a lot as a kid and really enjoying this franchise, and I think this was a terrific prequel start to this franchise. I absolutely adore this movie, and to me this movie is terrific. On paper and by trailers and a summer blockbuster, this might look like just a typical cure gone wrong action film, but at its core this movie really is a story and character driven movie. Will, played by James Franco, is trying to create a cure for Alzheimer's for his father, and he tests it on a young ape. What I really appreciate about the movie is how these characters are truly handled. Will, played by James Franco, we can tell his intentions and emotions very early on, and we can relate to him because he wants to help his father. And then we have Caesar, played by Andy Serkis, in motion capturing, and he is young and naive in the beginning of the film, and they create a special bond between the ape and human. And as his intelligence grows, his awareness to himself and others around him grows as well, and he learns things that he really probably didn't want to know in the first place, and starts this eventual rise against the humans. And I like how there was care and development in Will and Caesar, and they create this special bond that I thought was terrific, and you really didn't want to see them apart, but you really understood where Caesar was coming from, and I really appreciate how Will understood where Caesar was coming from as well. It makes for the moments where Caesar does rise against the human somewhat emotional because he's trusted in the human so much in the beginning of the film. It's completely gone towards the end of the film. So I really like how the characters are developed. There's so much emotion and intention and heart in these characters, and such a great bond that really does show in this film. And it makes it for a great summer blockbuster. We have the typical summer blockbusters that's all about action, and this movie is just about character development and story. Yes, there is action, and it is handled very well at the end of the film, and it does set up for this eventual trilogy. But at its core, I do think that it is a great story, and it has great characters. Now, there's some of the CGI in here is some of the best I have ever seen. It makes the apes look so real, and I do think that Andy Serkis breathes so much life and emotion and humanity into this role, and the apes look so real, and I do appreciate CGI over ape costumes like all of the previous ape films. So Rise of the Planet of the Apes was a great start to this trilogy. I do think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was great as well, and I'm really excited for War for the Planet of the Apes. So I'm going to go ahead and give Rise of the Planet of the Apes an A+. So have you guys seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes? What do you think about it compared to other Planet of the Apes films? Do you guys think this was a great prequel and a start to this awesome trilogy? And I've heard War for the Planet of the Apes is the best one, and one of the best conclusions to a trilogy ever. I have high expectations for this film. Look forward to my next week's Favorite Friday video, where I'm going to discuss one of my favorite Christopher Nolan films in preparation for Dunkirk. You guys are the best as always. This is Just Watches Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.